welcome back. Welcome to today's Q&A, an amazing one that I know you all have been looking forward to. I'm Rodrigua Ross.
And I'm Keith Vinson.
And we are the hosts of the Causenetic podcast, powered by the YMCA of Metropolitan Dallas. And today we have President-elect Soheila Hayek. We are so excited to have you in the space today for Q&A.
We get the pleasure, before you even make your acceptance speech, we get the honor to be able to talk to you. We appreciate it.
Welcome.
Hey, look, while you guys are online, you're in for a big treat right here. You get to see our newly elected president. Drop in the chat for us where you're from. Give some shout outs here. This is the last time we'll be seeing you guys, but you guys have been awesome. Online. I hope you've had a great experience. But drop in the chat your name, where you're from. But then also, you get the chance. I want to see who's going to be the first person to ask the question to the newly elected president.
Yeah. And if we're going to follow the same trend, we're not just dropping names and stuff. We're blowing up the chat. Is that the thing? We are blowing it up.
The chat. So we got my man Mike over here handling things, guys. Y'all make his job really difficult now. But we want to first go in and begin to ask you some questions. Been a treat to meet you. You seem like you're just excited right now. Like, what is making you so excited right now?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me on your show. It's wonderful to be able to reach out to everyone. I've had lots of encounters here in person, but reaching out to online has been a little bit less frequent. So this is wonderful. Thank you for doing this. I'm very excited about our Vision 2030. And I'm also very excited about this cooperation, this togetherness. We have the hybrid, we have the in-person. We really have ignited it. We really have gotten everybody involved from everywhere. I don't know how we did it, because just 3 years ago, we couldn't have done this. But look at us now. So I just can't imagine where we'll be 3 years from now.
We might have holograms or something, right? It might be a thing.
Dropping in your room. Here is the president checking up on you.
Right? And you're really somewhere like, what did you do last night? You're like, oh, she really came to my room.
Really weird. I saw Michael Jackson. I was like,
what? Oh my goodness, that Michael Jackson? Well, we are, right at the beginning of the week when the elections were happening, there was just this buzz, right? And this energy, and people were really excited because Patricia Pelton was the first female president, and here we were at an election where we could potentially have another, right? And it happened. Are you feeling any pressure being the second female president?
Well, let's first not forget how amazing it was to have elected the first
female president. Yes.
I was running for executive board at that election, and I just couldn't believe we actually have a woman president.
Yes.
So, no, not in my wildest dreams did I think that 4 years later we're going to elect a second woman president. And now we have also a treasurer that's a woman.
That's female.
Wow. Yes. So, yes, the YMCA is really at the cutting edge of equality, equity, and really advancement of everyone's rights.
So excited.
Inclusion.
Yes.
And so what does excellence look like as you're leading right now? So when your term ends, you're just like, that was excellent.
First of all, something that really has broken my heart is I've talked to some YMCAs, smaller ones in the outposts, that really feel like they haven't been heard. And that's the worst thing for young people, any age people, to feel like nobody cares. What you are doing, where you are, or what's happening to you. So that's something excellence will look to me like, is when I look back and everybody is bubbling with excitement. So that's one thing I want. And, we've had a rough time with COVID. So our international office has not been able, Patricia and Carlos have not been able to travel as much as they wanted to. And this long period of no visits, no communication, plus COVID and financial difficulties and pandemic has really brought people in some areas really down. So excellence will look like bubbling everywhere.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I
That's
love
one
it.
of the things.
I love
the
it.
other is I'd love to see us take this Vision 2030 and see what our local YMCAs will do with it. Because, you know, it's like, were you guys here when Ban Ki-moon gave his keynote speech?
No, we missed it.
He is the past, not this, but the past Secretary General of the United Nations. And in 2015, he suggested a set of goals for 2030, which he called Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. At that time, people hearing it, they just couldn't wrap their mind around it. What does it mean? No more poverty, education, work for all, just world, water access, on and on, 17 SDGs. But look at us now.
Yeah.
Now, 10 years later, look at the world. We are, everything we do is based on SDGs.
Wow.
Anything from carbon emission or carbon credit to the greenhouse gases to the material we use for our clothes, everything has to abide by these SDGs.
Wow.
So I sort of feel like our Vision 2030 is like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have come up with these ideals. Now in our collabs, we're adding some flesh to it. And I can't wait to see what our local YMCAs are going to do with it.
Yeah.
Because I would like after 4 years to look back and say, yeah. That's what we did.
Yes,
And
yes.
all over.
Yes.
Yeah, we were having a conversation last night, particularly around the strategies around sustainability, right? And in the United States, what role do we play as YMCAs? And it was an amazing conversation. And I don't know if it would have been sparked had we not been here at World Council, right? With Vision 2030 and really got energized and excited about this whole idea of sustainability. So
Absolutely.
I agree. I'm with you. So here's the thing that was fascinating to me. You are a citizen of 4 countries and speak 9 languages. Like, you must be a genius. Like, I can't even keep hold of one language. What countries are you officially a citizen of, and what are the languages you speak? I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Well, Federica, you just have to come from a nomad family, and then all of this will fall into place,
Yes,
you see?
yes.
So I was born to an immigrant family. My mother's side, their ancestors are Armenians from Georgia, from Tbilisi and Batumi. And from my dad's side, they are Turks, they're Azeri and Uzbek. So they were at home. I heard Turkish, Armenian, and Russian. And I was born in Iran, so I spoke Farsi. So that's 4 languages for you right there.
Wow.
And then I moved to the States, so of course English. And then we lived in Mexico, so of course Spanish. Then we lived in Gabon. It's a West African French-speaking country, so of course French. So life has just thrown this, and I married my better half, who is Lebanese, so Arabic. And now, because our country is doing really poorly, unfortunately, and we don't have internet access to dependable internet access or anything, and my husband's work is all online because he's the president of an association of public-private partnership units, so he's always online, and we couldn't continue in Lebanon. So we've now moved to Cyprus. We've taken a little spot, but it has very good internet. So there I'm learning a bit of Greek. So those are my 9 languages.
I can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine.
So you had to stop there in Texas. And I know you talk about all these languages. You know, Texas is just its own.
That's a whole different language.
They just have their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, what was the food stop in Texas for you?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. I didn't stop in Texas.
Okay.
I got started in Texas.
Okay.
Yes, that's where
There you
I
go.
went.
There you go.
Directly.
I like
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
And
H-Town.
I got married there. And then I had my first child there. And I had my first home in Irving, Texas. My husband worked in Fort Worth, and I went to school in Richardson, UT.
Yeah.
So Texas is what gave me everything. And then I had my second son in San Marcos, Texas.
Oh, wow.
And we lived in Wimberley, Texas for a while.
Oh,
So-
you are Texas through and through.
So let me tell you, I did not make a stop there.
But here you go, though.
I
Her husband got the belt
started there.
buckle.
He
to show
got, I
for
was
it.
going to say, the husband have on a Texas belt buckle that is
That's when
everything.
you know you're Texan right
That's
there.
when
When
you know.
when you have the belt buckle.
You know.
And I think I've attended more rodeos than many Texans.
You probably have. What was your favorite food in Texas? Steak? Don't say a steak. A steak?
Honey, is there any
Anything.
shortage of good food?
There's
Is
not.
there anything that's
No.
not good?
Right.
But my favorite is ribs. I'm sorry. I am a rib.
Okay.
You know, I could use a good rib right now.
Now you
Barbecue
want
ribs.
Yeah.
That's my language. Yes.
Okay.
Now I
Right
did
there.
see some sweet
Okay.
baby rays in one of the stores here. Now, so we probably could go find a rib somewhere and maybe simulate a little bit.
Well, I do very good ribs.
Well, sound like that's an invitation to.
When
our
are,
house
when are
to
you
eat.
going to be back in Texas? Because I want to eat one of those ribs.
Well, no, you
I
don't
do.
have to
I
come
wanna
back
eat
to
that.
Texas. We can come to where you are.
Yes, I want to eat that. I want to eat that rib.
Hey, look, while you guys are online, we have a great conversation going here. Please drop in to the chat there any questions that you have. But we do want to give some shout outs here. Huge congratulations going out to you, ma'am. Going to our friends, let's see, Raina in Lebanon. Let's see, Max in the Philippines. And take that from Rod.
Ashish and Matthew in India.
Yes.
With an invitation to visit. They
Come
said
on
come back
by.
and visit them.
Uh-huh.
Rachel in New York City, my hometown. Hey,
New
Rachel.
York.
Luca in Olatunji in Nigeria. And, of course, get your questions in the chat. We'll be coming up to
Hey,
your
y'all.
questions shortly. Good job, you guys, giving a shout out to the president-elect, Soheila Hayek. So this Vision 2030, the one thing that I've said it multiple times because it is that one thing that is just really resonating with me, radical collaboration, right?
Yeah.
And you just talked about really making sure that people are heard and they feel heard, and that excellence looks like getting the voices from all around the globe. What will you do specifically to really, gel this idea of not just regular collaboration, radical collaboration,
You
right?
better believe it.
Yes.
Already to come up with this idea. We've never done this before. We've never had a collaborative vision for the YMCA.
Wow.
This is the first time
Wow.
we have
All right.
had one where every voice was counted. We've been working on this for 3 years, going around the globe and editing and re-editing and making sure, this person, this doesn't agree with them and that doesn't include them. So we've really tried to find the basics that everybody can agree to.
Yeah.
Now, to implement, you need ideas, expertise, and funding. And that is where that super collaboration is going to come in.
Yeah.
This is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for, because not all countries are the same in their 4 pillars.
Yeah.
I was talking to a young lady from Switzerland who said, well, we don't have a problem with job security or access to jobs. Everybody has a job.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem with a just world. We live in a very democratic world. And we don't have a problem with environment. Our government is very, very strict on environmental. But guess what they have a problem with? Mental health. Mental health issues.
Yeah.
Their youth are suffering from mental health issues.
Yeah.
Now, if I look at my country, mental health is not at the top of my agenda, but access to job market is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is all 4 pillars are important for everyone, but people's needs will dictate what pillars they will concentrate on.
Yeah.
And it's the creativity of each local YMCA to come up with their own response to their local need that will make this an amazing mosaic. I can't wait to see the
I
result.
can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be excellent. Yeah.
Man, we've heard a lot about just youth. I mean, all of our conversations throughout the week, as we've had people sitting in the seat where you are. I mean, what are you most hopeful for our youth out here today?
Well, I'm already very hopeful because the past 5 days I have seen so many youth leaders. It's just 4 years ago, this wasn't the case.
No.
In Chiang Mai, we didn't have this many youth leaders. In the course of 4 years, local YMCAs have just woken up and said, yeah, what are we doing? Why aren't we promoting more youth?
Yeah.
And youth voices are now not only amplified, they are leading the way.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we are after. We want to continue to support youth leadership.
I mean, because we've talked to youth that are really changing things.
Yes.
That's right.
I mean, I'm not talking about we went down and we served some food change. I'm talking about we've created opportunities to change our communities as a whole. We met the youngest treasurer, in the movement.
Yeah.
I mean, and so I've been blown away by seeing the young people. We met a group of 5 young men from Syracuse, New York, who are doing amazing things.
15 years old, a delegate, right? Got to
Amazing.
vote in the elections. You're right.
Amazing.
They are doing amazing.
I mean, the
things.
doors that are being opened. Yesterday, somebody mentioned that before, as we were coming through, we were hoping that somebody would open a door for us. Now there are so many doors open.
Right.
You just have to take your time and see which one do I want.
Right.
Because there is many doors open. But having said that, there are some movements that is not the case yet. And so part of this collaboration and exchange of ideas is also hearing and seeing how things are happening in your place and how can I replicate it in mine. Because I am still not where I want to be.
Yeah.
So those are things that, again, with collaboration, with exchange of ideas. I mean, we're living in the 21st century.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where Peru is, where Nigeria is. Right. Everybody's online at the same time.
At the same
time. Now we have
You're
everybody.
Right. Yeah.
So Peru, by the way, they just elected their first country head. That's a woman, and she's only 29.
Wow.
So that is amazing,
That is
for a
amazing.
patriarchal society.
Yeah.
So we are seeing how all the barriers are falling. It's just a matter of time, but we must not get complacent.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, it's happening anyway, let's not. No.
Yeah.
No, we have to continue going. But I think in 4 years, excellence will look like that.
Yes.
And I mean, just the idea sharing that's happening with the young people, like there are so many things and initiatives and strategies that they are just jumping into that I'm like, we don't have to think of anything new in the United States. Like, let's see if we can replicate that over there. Oh, it really
Absolutely.
is. It really is.
But that's
amazing.
the beauty of it, that nobody has to invent the wheel. It's just a matter of where do we want to go? We have the wheel. How do we use it and where do we want to get to?
Where do we want to take us? I love it. I love it. So Mags in the Philippines says, congratulations, of course, again, and wants to know, what are your priorities in the first 100 days of your presidency? And moving forward, what are the things that you think we can do to help our global movement achieve Vision 2030?
The thing you can do to help me achieve, or all of us achieve Vision 2030, because it's not a one-person job, it's a global job, is to keep communicating. Keep sharing stories. Keep collaborating. Don't sit in a silo. Everybody must tell everybody else what they're up to, what they're doing, when they did it, what was the result, good or bad. Share what went wrong, what was good. This is how growth happens.
Yes.
So that's to answer the last part. The first part is that the first 100 days, of course, is a lot of administrative things that you have to get set up. But vision-wise, we have Vision 2030, but at the same time, parallel to promoting Vision 2030, we need to promote our brand. We need to make sure, because it seems like a lot of people know what the YMCA is, but they don't know what it is about.
Yeah.
They
that's
know
true.
of it, they don't know it.
Yeah.
So it's our job to elevate our brand, to elevate our visibility, because it's visibility that will give us funding opportunities.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you are no-name brand, it's the same thing when you go to the supermarket. I mean, why do you buy this as opposed to this?
Yeah.
Right.
Because the information on it tells you, oh, this water has sodium and you're looking for sodium, or it says sodium and you're looking for the one that doesn't have sodium, so
Yeah.
you choose this other one. We need to put what we are all about.
Yeah.
We need to create a brand that has one message, one idea globally, and have the whole global brand lifted. And once the global brand is lifted, then local YMCAs in Philippines, in Peru, in Ecuador, they can go to their local funders.
Yeah.
And now they know what these guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Because they have seen it on CNN, on BBC, in their newspaper, or some other
Yeah.
trusted source.
That's good.
So you talked about communicate. What does that mean to communicate with everyone? So how does one in the Philippines communicate to someone in South Africa to be able to share the stories? Because we get it all the time. We got to share our story more. We got to share our story more. And like, we're one of the largest brands there is, but something is like, it's not balanced out. We're a large brand.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows our brand, but we don't tell our story enough. Like,
Absolutely. You have touched exactly where the point of ignition will be.
Yeah.
This facilitating to tell each other's stories to each other and to the world. And
Yeah.
that is by platform. So there is a lot of work that's already gone into it, and as soon as it's possible and ready to be, it will be functional. But it is that kind of an idea, yes. So we can all talk to each other.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Very good point.
I love that. Because the one thing that is really so fascinating, and it really is a beautiful thing here, is that you talk to people from around the world, and everyone has such nuanced challenges and hopes and aspirations, but then there's just this thread of what everyone, and like you said, earlier, the mental health, sustainability, making sure that our youth voices are heard. It is amazing to me that those very same things are happening all over the world while people are dealing with their individual things. And how do you navigate honoring the individual nature, right, and the nuance of that, because that's beautiful culturally, but also helping people see we have so much in common.
We have so much in common. One young leader, I should say, from Kenya, had this brilliant idea. Why don't we, instead of just exchanging change agents, why don't we have high school students from different cultures spend a semester at each other's countries? That's also part of peace building, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because when you get to know the person, you know where they sleep, what they eat, what sport they watch, what's their mom like, what's their dad like, what are their challenges, where they have to go to get water, where they have to go to get food. Your respect, your understanding, the depth of your connection to that person and that region changes.
Yeah.
So that is a wonderful idea to do. We already do exchanges amongst staff. Like Lebanon, I know we have hosted people from Denmark, from Finland, from Mexico, but these are YMCA staff. And when you talk to them, they say they have been changed. Not because Lebanon is something special, but because it's so different from their comfort zone. So I think that's a very worthy program to pursue and to promote, so we can have this live exchange of cultures and ideas.
That's good. That's good. I love that.
So Rachel in New York just chiming in,
Yeah.
says, what serves as a guiding principle in your life, and how does that integrate with the YMCA's vision, mission, and values.
Now you are touching on my soft spot.
Good job, Rachel.
So, you know, I was raised by very romantic parents
Romantic parents.
who thought it was very nice to take the children on road trips and, you know, sit in the meadows and it's raining, but it's okay, isn't it pretty? It's sprinkling and, you know, just hanging out and enjoying nature. And so what's ingrained in me is love, is the principal, operating principle of my life is love and harmony. I really cannot function when I see disharmony. So I'm always drawn to people that are out of harmony to put them in harmony. And that's why my work has always been working with, when I was younger as a scout, we would visit different institutions with children in different levels of difficulties, whether mental or physical. Later on in my life, I've always worked with youth and always youth empowerment, because that gives a lifetime of harmony to that individual.
Yes. Yeah.
When you said that, I was thinking of the song, All We Need Is Love.
You know,
Don't
there
get
is
him to
a
sing it.
lot of wisdom to those lyrics.
Yeah.
There is a lot of wisdom.
And I see that. I absolutely see that. Just from noticing and watching how you walk through and you greet everyone and you stop and you talk to everyone like they're the most important person. You know,
they
people say
are.
all the time, right? Oh, I do this, I do that. But then when you see them where they don't think people are looking, you're
Right,
like,
right.
do they really believe that? But you absolutely, that is exactly what people are saying. And that's exactly how you feel. You just feel like, oh, she's love. She's so excellent. Oh, thank you for that. That is an amazing, amazing attribute. More people need to be.
And
more people need to be like Soheila, okay? Be like her. Be like her. Yes.
Well, look, YMCA is on the basis of Christian love.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was very lucky to marry love.
Yeah.
So in love and with love. So
Aw.
you know, I'm
You
really
can't see him,
blessed.
but he's right
I know,
there. He does
and
look-
you ought to see his eyes
I
just
mean,
gazing
he's
at his
teasing
wife like,
from
oh
ear to ear.
man.
She's gonna
Like-
get an excellent gift today.
Man.
Oh, it's gonna be so flowers and everything. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna call my husband after that and be like, have you ever said that to me? He's gonna be like, oh.
Well,
Stay in
listen,
Denmark.
Just stay in Denmark. Just don't come back home with that mess.
after 42 years,
Oh.
people become one. We're no longer two, we're one.
42 years.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Awesome.
And he's still cheesing like that
I
after 42
mean,
years. Oh,
you
I
all
can't
out.
take
He
it.
is just blush
I
red
can't
all
take it.
over,
I'm
and
so
it is
jealous.
genuine too.
It is definitely
yeah,
genuine.
it ain't.
Not
Oh
fake.
wow,
Not fake.
wow.
Oh, that is so excellent. That's so cozy.
You guys are showing the world
Yes,
what love
what
really
love
means
is
in all the spaces that you got.
Personified. It's amazing.
Awesome.
So we have another question. How can the YMCA develop new or stronger and more meaningful partnerships with other nonprofits and public and private sector folks to further enhance our work and enhance the funding that we receive?
Very good question.
Yeah.
Another very good. I love these questions.
Right? They come up with great ones.
These people are on the ball.
Yes, they are. Yes,
Good
they
for you.
are.
So I don't know if you have been keeping up, but the World YMCA since Chiang Mai has made a lot of new partnerships. Most important in my eyes are, of course, the International Labor Organization, because this is where we deal with human rights, we deal with work, access to job markets, inclusion. A lot of these are under the International Labor Organization. So that's one very important one. We already are part of the UN list of NGOs, and we work closely with new generation. They have like a an arm of the UN that only deals with the youth, and we are in close collaboration. Yesterday we had their representative here. I think she's still somewhere around. We have created a partnership with HP, you know, the printer,
Yeah.
Hewlett Packard. They have come up with an idea of a program that it's a win-win. They want to be able to test out their new software and hardware. And they want to also help. So through us, we have chosen certain countries where they will set up their technical labs there and train the youth to use this software and hardware and teach them how to
There you go.
code that.
There you go.
And later on, these people can work with HP or whatever. But for HP, they have a market that they can test these things in, debug the system, see
Yeah.
how it responds to the needs of the youth. And then, of course, they will benefit from it to go worldwide. But at the same time, we benefit because our youth are getting trained.
Yes.
And potential job market.
Yeah.
But apart from these, we have now joined the youth movement, the sixth World Youth Movement. You're aware, right? The Scouts movement, the Red Cross, the YMCA, YWCA, the Duke of Edinburgh, all of these with WHO, we have created a youth organization that through them and with them, we're going to make a lot of collaborations. But as I said, my idea is we need to start thinking fundraising.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need to start telling our story better,
Yeah.
more data, and collaborating with, you know, we are the people that invented basketball
Yeah, we did.
and baseball.
Yep. And Father's Day in the United States.
I didn't know
volleyball
that
going.
one.
Yeah.
But
Started-
basketball and volleyball are big business, especially basketball. What do we get out of it?
I don't even think I can get a ticket to any of the games.
How would it be
I don't know.
if we could reach agreements with
Yes.
sports clubs?
Right.
Yes.
If we got 0.5% of their revenues? I don't know. I'm not good at these things.
I think I'll take it though. If I got 0.5 plus
0.5
NBA
billions?
revenue. Yeah, that's,
You're right.
That's a little bit of money.
You're right.
0.01. I
Yeah.
don't care, just something.
Yeah.
What about if we were to partner with some of the sports equipment companies?
Yeah.
Nike shoes, your shoes are amazing.
Right.
What if there was, for example, I don't know, a YMCA design?
I would buy those shoes. I would get some YMCA
What
Nikes.
if they were at a discounted price?
Yes.
And we could sell them only through our local YMCAs across the globe? I mean, I don't know if they're practical, but I have all of these thoughts.
Right.
So my
Those are
idea is
amazing.
let's put our thoughts together.
Yes.
Right.
I don't have all the answers, but I'm saying let's shift paradigm. Let's look at ourselves as an entity that needs funding. And if the global movement can elevate the brand and can attract the funding, then it will go to all the movement.
And
because locally, obviously, you can't raise
Yeah.
money locally and then send it across the globe.
Yeah.
People will say, wait, what
Right.
are you doing?
Yeah.
Because we know we can shift. I mean, this little thing called a pandemic just happened, and we had to shift.
Absolutely.
And so it is like that idea is only this big now. Maybe before the pandemic,
It might have felt that big,
Yeah.
right?
But
and
we
it makes
know
all the sense
we
in the
can shift.
world. It is the idea does not seem far-fetched. It doesn't seem not doable. It just seems like, duh, why didn't we think
Right.
of that?
We just haven't yet.
Yes.
and can we push our minds to stay at this big place that think about these big ideas and like try to do something about it? I mean,
There
we don't
are-
have to dumb things down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just have to realize that we have potential. And now that we are ignited,
Ignited. I see what you did there. Ignited. Yes.
why not keep going?
Right. Yeah.
Keep going. Keep
Yeah.
coming up with new ideas.
Yes.
We need to raise funds. Let's come up with schemes.
I love it. I love it.
So coming in from London, Simon asked if you could share just a little bit about your professional background, and then how you've enjoyed the most, and what have you enjoyed the most in your work life?
Another excellent
Right?
question.
That's
I
a
love
little
these
knowledge.
Because I want to hear that too.
So I've always been out there.
Yeah.
I mean, at the University of Houston, I was part of the International Student Organization Executive Board. So I was volunteering in everything. After that, I got married and we had children. So I was volunteering in churches, running bazaars, and I taught Sunday school. And I was always at school as well, volunteering there. My children are going to shake now with anger. Yes, Mother, we know. You
know,
were
Mom.
always there.
Up
to high school.
Always there.
So every year they would say, Mom, can you please not volunteer?
Somebody else took the spaces, Mom. So I'm sorry, we really didn't want you there, but Miss Mary, she took it,
And then Mom would still be there anyway, right?
Yes. Oh, I would then
I love it.
drop by to make sure they've
love
done
it.
their
You
homework.
got that right.
How did they behave?
That's right. That's why they didn't want you to
Get out.
volunteer. Absolutely.
Kids always doing
Absolutely.
this.
Yes. Yes, my children had developed a phobia. They still talk about it. They're now 39 and 36, and they're still
like, no, I think we were traumatized. As kids, you were always there.
And so because of Hayek's work, he was an investment banker, and we were traveling internationally. So I also always volunteered with the local. For example, in Mexico, I volunteered with the United Way of Mexico. It's called Fundo Unido.
Yeah.
And I was fundraising for children that needed help through getting corporate sponsorships and things like that. But once the kids were gone, and afterwards, in Lebanon, I started about 15 years ago to work first as volunteering, and then officially as the executive director of an NGO, where we spotted a community, in particular the Armenian community in Lebanon, that were, because of the civil war and imports from China and everything, they're craftsmen, both for jewelry and for shoes and everything just flooded the market. So their whole socioeconomic structure fell down.
Oh, wow.
So all of a sudden you had these extremely educated, rounded people who were in difficulty putting their kids to school. So my work was to identify these bright students, put them through our program. We provided university scholarship and then did job training and placed them in jobs. I also, we also had a program where we brought PhD graduates to tell everybody what was their PhD about, and then put them in touch with private sector and public sector to get either funding for further research or get jobs. So my work has always been with youth, empowerment, job, education. So
yeah. Wow, that's full circle. And I guess we'll wrap it up with Alvin in Hong Kong. We are living in politically troubling times with different conflicts all around the world. What can the YMCA and young people do to provide solutions?
I personally don't think that the YMCA is a place for politics. The YMCA is open to all who need refuge.
Yeah.
So no matter what the situation is, our doors are open. Today, there is a war between two nations, and the YMCAs of those two nations are collaborating.
Working together.
So nobody's bringing politics into the YMCA.
Yeah.
So yes, there is a lot of conflict, Alvin. I hear you. The best that you can think of is to think of love and brotherhood. Don't bring in politics. I know it affects life. I know it is oppressive sometimes, but think of the positive side. Try to not be involved too much in bringing politics into the YMCA because we can't do that.
Yeah.
We're a global organization that's very pacific, very peaceful. We preach Christian values. We will not be involved in politics.
Yeah. That human center. We are a human service organization. We got to
We
center
are
the
open.
humanity.
In
If
Lebanon,
anyone-
our motto is we don't ask you who you are, only how can we help you. So
Wow.
this should be the international motto of YMCA, and we shouldn't worry about politics.
Wow. It's
Man.
been so refreshing.
I know. Amazing.
It's been so amazing.
Amazing.
Yikes, thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
guys.
for your
You're
time. You are
amazing.
absolutely the president we need right now, right? This is the perfect time, the convergence of time and space and opportunity. We're so
To ignite.
excited. Yes, to ignite. You are the perfect president that we need right now. Wow.
Well, coming up shortly on our final day of World
Final
Council.
day.
Man, our president-elect right here, she'll take her oath office, and the collab process will be brought together on stage. Our end note with CEOs of the YMCA of USA and the YMCA Australia. The final episode of World Council Daily at 7 p.m. Aarhus time. And straight after the final session, our closing ceremony. Thank you guys for joining us
Thank you,
online.
Madam
This was
President.
wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you very much. It
Man.
was lovely. And the questions were amazing.
They were.
Always.
They were.
Always.
Thank
They
you.
were amazing for the entire week. And thank you guys for being here, for staying involved, for putting out the most amazing questions. Hope you all had a great time tuning in virtually and really got some good stuff.
Ignite.
Yes.